One start group. Start group. What up? What up? What up, guys? Welcome to the first episode ever live of the Dinner Convo. And it's just a very special occasion for us because we are finally being able to do something to give back to you guys. You guys have been extremely supportive in the last few days and like throughout this beginning of the Dinner Convo. We have had friends who were doing magnificent things. Friends who were supporting us by liking our comments or doing stuff like promoting our page and a lot more interesting stuff. And I'm very grateful to all of you for this. Therefore, we have decided to, because one of the things that we Bangladeshis aren't able to enjoy that much is the enough resources for getting into a very good university like Harvard, MIT, Princeton, universities like that. So we've decided, since we have connections, we have friends who go to these universities, we're like, we should bring these people here and allow their stories to be published to you guys so that you can also, inshallah, in the future, get into a great university as well. So we're going to take just 2-3 more minutes so that more of you can come. And 2-3 more minutes, and we'll be back with exciting content, with very informational content. Guys, don't forget to share this. Yeah, definitely share this.
Yeah, it will be very helpful for all of you.
Okay, just want to check those who are watching the stream right now. Is it like of the right quality? Is there any lag? Just let us know in the stream comments. And like that. Let us know in the stream comments and no problem. We'll take 2-3 more minutes. Oh, thank you, Abra. Thank you, man. It's just 3 people watching. Come on, we expect more people to come in. It's all right. Jacob is a busy man. We've taken his important, very precious time and allowing his story. He's an awesome person, trust me. And just a few more seconds, and then we'll be good to go. I'll put up another story because nobody's joining. This shows how bad we are at YouTube. A lot of people don't really care about our content. Oh, come on, this is our first.
Live stream, yeah, exactly.
Yes, some did. Yeah, but I feel bad for Jacob. That man, he woke up very early in the morning to do this with us. He should get some appreciation right now.
I mean, it's not too early. It's like 11:15, like middle of the afternoon. I think we're good.
Oh. All right, that's great.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm trying to, do some clickbait on the Instagram by saying that we have confidential advice on getting into top colleges in the world. That people come in. Do we have any new viewers? All right, just take 2 more minutes, and if that's it, then we'll be good to go. Okay. Okay, guys. We have one more additional viewer now. We have 4 people watching. That's big achievement. Okay. Wow. So as for the people watching, yeah. Okay, that's I think that's good enough. I think we can start now. This is Jacob. Well, I'll let Jacob do his introduction. Come on, Jacob, tell us who you are.
All right, for sure. So my name is Jacob Rodriguez. I'm a current freshman here at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or commonly known MIT. Although most people see it as a pretty elite institution, I'm going to be kind of proof that we're human. We have flaws. We're just here vibing, if anything. And yeah, I'm originally from Orange County, California, which is southern area. Typical, stereotypical beach guy. I wear Vans, surf, skate, all that type of stuff. And yeah, over here, I'm going to be double majoring in aerospace engineering and physics, as well as minoring in science writing and communication. And through my undergrad as of now, I've been doing a lot of research with like NASA's Nuclear Thermal Propulsion Lab, a lot of stuff with NASA's AstroBee project, which is like these little robots that are going on the International Space Station, as well as just exploring all the music classes I have to have here. So yeah, I'm planning on taking dual courses at Harvard as well. So if you guys have any questions there. And before I even got here in my college application process, I ended up doing this thing called QuestBridge, which is only able to domestic students, which is kind of sad. But through that, I applied to Yale, Columbia, MIT, UCLA, UC Berkeley, and ultimately got offered a full ride to each of those institutions. So it's a great way. I want to show as much as I can. I hope you guys do all of that as well, because no matter where you come from, no matter what you've lived through, there's always a way to make it happen. And I want to be living proof of that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That was wonderful.
fantastic.
That was a good intro.
Exactly, man. That itself was, heartwarming, and we really appreciate whatever you plan to do in the future, because you clearly have the heart of a golden person. The heart of gold. I'm messing up English like anything. All right. Okay. So, Jacob, let's just talk about a random question. We're not going to be asking questions at the beginning, because that will make us look like another podcast. We don't want to copy anyone.
Okay.
So Jacob, talk about college application process. It's a very hard time. It's a very stressful time. And one of the worst things that happens in Bangladesh is, one of the things that I've seen is people, realize the importance of this at the very end, and they don't have enough time to work hard or create an application that is worth MIT or Harvard or any of the top institutions. So what do you think is the importance, according to you, what would you say is the importance of applying, starting preparations from an early time?
Yeah. So when it comes to college applications, you can't do it the night before. I know a whole bunch of people, I've met a lot of people where they take pride in saying, oh, I did this entire application, submitted it at midnight, started the day before, but no one needs that. No one wants that stress. And secretly, I've talked to a couple ways to say that to make themselves feel better. Because in my case, it's something I really wanted. I didn't even know MIT existed until after my junior year summer, or any of these schools that I actually was capable of going into them. So in a sense, I started kind of late, thinking about what I was doing in high school and how it applies to getting into college. So the biggest thing you guys have to do is, first of all, like they said, you have to start essentially a little early, but not even that. You don't want to make your high school experiences just for college, You just want to kind of do things that you enjoy, but you always want to have that in the back of your head. You want to do things that you're having fun with. That's why you need to start looking at the college application process relatively early. So you can kind of see and keep that in mind, saying, okay, I love doing this. How can I write about that in a college application? Why would this benefit me if a college application reader is going to be reading this off my application? And that's probably the biggest thing I always tell people, because I've talked to admissions officers at Yale, Columbia, MIT, Harvard, and UCLA, and they've all mentioned where they can immediately tell when an applicant only does things for the college application, because there's no real connection. Most of these things, like for me, all my stuff kind of followed a single story. There was robotics. There was a community organization helping underrepresented people in STEM. There was a lot of Science Olympiad competitions. Everything kind of had a centralized thing about science and engineering, but also in music at the same time. So you want to be able to tell a story through your application, and you can't really do that if you start it the night before. In my case, probably the biggest, most daunting part about a college application is the Common App essay. And that's your 650-word straight story of you. And you probably heard this getting thrown around. We don't want to write about things everyone writes about. This is essentially your chance to stand apart. It's inevitable that someone's going to have the exact same extracurriculars as you, the exact same activities, better awards, all of that. So your essay section is the way for you to say why you deserve to be at that school. You tell your story and why that campus is going to benefit from your presence being there. And it's huge. Most people just say, oh, don't worry about it. My awards and my activities are going to carry me. If there's no context applied to any of those, then there's no point in even applying. So it's super huge. For me, probably the best thing, it took me a good for like 3 months to write my major essay. And I didn't even start writing until maybe like 2 weeks before. It's just you want to think about what you want to write about. And once you run with that, there's nothing stopping you. Because most cases when people get denied from the universities, 89% of the time, it's going to be, I wish I had more time on the essay. And if you spend ample time on that, you're going to reach a point mentally inside of you where you're going to have a piece of paper inside your hand of your personal statement essay. And you're going to be able to think to yourself, I think I got this. And every single person that applied to these type of schools and got in, they had that exact feeling. Because you have a strong sense of self-confidence where it's not without exception. So yeah, started a little early.
One of our viewers told you to speak in Bangla. What would you reply to that?
I can't do, wait, ready? Hold on.
Coming up.
He's trying.
I'm trying to learn this language really quick.
God, he's even learning a language. Come on, what's this?
Yeah, a few words would be great.
Yeah.
Tukita. Tukita. I tried saying sorry.
Well, what are you trying to say, man?
Sorry.
Yes. Sorry is like. So what's a Bangla for story? Damn, that's embarrassing.
That's.
He also said you're handsome in the chat stream. He also said you're a handsome boy.
Okay, thank you. I do have a good friend. Nice.
Oh, and the other viewer said hi to you. So yeah,
Hello.
one of our friends. It's all our friends. You see, our friends are very supportive people. They're awesome
Yes.
people.
That is good.
Okay, so check about and certainly that was a very comprehensive guide, and we'll learn more in the next few minutes we spend with you. And Farden had something to talk about. Why don't you go ahead?
Oh yeah. So basically,
Farden, you had something to talk about.
I hear. Yeah.
I really lost.
I hear.
Man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. So basically, we hear from a lot of people that you need extracurricular activities, or like ECA. So what clubs or extracurricular activities will you recommend?
So in terms of the international scene, I'm not too familiar, but I've helped enough people applying from international students where I can kind of give you guys some type of way. Probably the biggest thing is you don't have to join specific extracurricular activities. The biggest thing that colleges like to see, if you want to do something and it doesn't exist at your school, the biggest flex you can do is start it. No, it's going to show you have initiative. That shows how passionate you are about the subject, how passionate you are to want to do it. And by doing that, starting an organization on your own to show how much you want to do it, that beats it all. So in terms of that, if you're scared that these things don't exist in your area, be the one to make it happen. One thing that I highly suggest if you guys want, I don't know what the timeline looks like, but first robotics competition. These are going to be straight deliverables you guys can actually try to apply. So there's first robotics competition. It's one where you're building 200-pound robots, roughly around 4 feet high, and they're competing on a field as big as a basketball court, shooting a whole bunch of different objects, learning every single pinpoint mechanical, electrical, software implementation that goes into robotic technology. And you're basically building it all from scratch. No Legos, no kits, no instructions. All the students. So that's a great way to kind of learn all the technical skills you need, and something that definitely helped me walking into all these research positions now, since I'm essentially already knowing what I'm going to be doing. There's that one, of course. There's the International Olympiad for science. I'm pretty sure you guys know those. Those are highly competitive. Yeah. So I'm telling you, if you guys get onto one of those teams, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but there is a very, 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 very high chance these schools are just going to scoop you up. But these are people that devoted their entire lives to it. And I've met a couple that competed that are here at MIT. They're very bland people. So don't rely on that. Always try to diversify your interests. So that international bowls, all of you, all your personalities inside International Olympiad, reevaluate it. If it's what you love, go for it. If not, that way you'll see what happens. There's that one as well. There is, I think, Science Olympiad is international as well. There's that competition. Mostly, I think the biggest things that colleges like to see is that you either have to have activities that show your community impact, or your passion for what you want to do. For me, it was science. So I joined every single science competition to prove myself against like a national competition. Because in my school, most people like kind of
Maybe like a podcast.
Huh? Yes, like you guys making a
No,
podcast.
go ahead. I was in maybe like.
Yeah, you guys have been talking to insane people. I've been following you guys up on Instagram.
Sorry,
Professor. No. It's suitable to acknowledge your guys' stuff. But yeah, like the things you guys are doing, especially taking the initiative to write.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It's insane. So that's the type of thing that colleges want to see. You guys were taking the initiative out to people here to do that. That's exactly the type of person they want to bring in.
We're coming to visit you in your dorm someday, inshallah.
Yes, you're gonna come here, and I'll give you
Boston. And yes. Yeah, inshallah. One of the things that I always think about is I'm not a science student. I'm more business student. The subjects that I've taken, and by God willing, I only want to get into. I want to get into MIT, study business. That's because anytime anybody goes past me and asks me what school do I go to, I'll say MIT. Then they'll be like, "Oh, you're a science student. You're an engineering student." I was like, "Nah, I do business." That is one of the reasons why I want to go to MIT. Speaking of which, we have a question about MIT. One of our friends, one of the viewers here suggested, he asked, can you share some of the difficulties you faced while you were trying to get into MIT?
Okay, so when it comes to difficulties, the biggest thing that I've tried helping a lot of my mentees in the past, coming from my similar backgrounds and stuff, and even me as well, getting over the fact that a school like that wants you. I've always, based on the media, you always see these news reports where it's saying, researchers from MIT discover this. Researchers from MIT implement this new technology. Researchers from MIT, Nobel laureates, 3 of them in the same year. Like, it's such a daunting thing to think that you as an undergraduate, senior in high school, can actually get into the school. And coming from my background, like I would read some of the profiles of the kids online. Like you can get completely scared out of those. They say, oh, a mom talking about their kid. He has perfect international test scores. He is part of like 16 organizations. He founded his own nonprofit, founded his own company, things like that. Is he going to get in? And kids like that do. But at the same time, that we can't all do that. So it's kind of just being okay with realizing the fact that you're good. You're good. You're capable to apply to the school. And if you play your cards right, if you really want to go there, and if you've done everything you can to prepare you to go to that institution, you're going to kill it. Like in my case, I came here thinking I'm going to be the worst one. I didn't come from that good of a school. I didn't do any of that, but yet I'm still excelling in all my classes because I'm just putting in that extra time. So it's all about that, because once you get here, you got to get over the fact it's called imposter syndrome. So you feel like you don't belong. But in that case, especially when you're applying, that was something I was completely terrified of. Small little instances of time where there would be days where I'm like, I think I could get in. Other times I'm like, oh my God, I think I suck. My application's gonna look so bad to these people. They're gonna throw it into the trash, light it on fire, and then never want to see my name again. So it's kind of getting over that fear. You want to have a level of self-confidence in yourself where you think, I can apply to this school, but not to the point where you say, there's a 100% chance I'm getting in. There's no doubt about it. You can never be 100% sure. There are people that built their own airplane, flown it, engineered it all, and got denied by MIT. But the person that hasn't even taken any AP classes, the person that hasn't...
No chance then. We have no chance.
No. The person that took no AP classes, no international exams, no international competition, but had to do all these different circumstances to show that they wanted to do what they wanted to do, going to the library to actually access computers, just the physical drive to want to succeed at that point, they're the people that get into MIT, and they're the people that leave as the best ones there. I'm telling you that right now. So that's just a fact. So kids from these backgrounds, kids that don't think they're good enough, are the ones that usually uptake the others because they have a drive and motivation that none of those other people have.
That was a great advice.
Great answer.
I hope
awesome people.
I hope Salvan heard it because it was his.
Yes.
Salvan.
Can I go? This is my turn now.
Asking really, really interesting. Wait, I'll ask.
Okay, you go on. People are asking weird questions.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. One of the guys asked, this was a college admission. But we welcome all questions. He had 3 questions. One is, do you play PUBG? Which, why, man? Come on.
I used to play PUBG.
Oh, you used to
That's
play.
great.
Yes. The second question is, can you drive a car?
Yes, I can drive a car. I got my license relatively late, after I turned 18, which is the legal age to get a driver's license. But yes, I can't drive a car here since it's not my state my driver's license is issued in. But I can drive a car, and I have been since I was 12 years old, illegally. But we don't talk about that.
And is that third inspiration then?
The third question's interesting from Vedant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Nah, bolo.
Okay, let's go to Hafiz's question.
Why don't you go ahead, man?
Okay, Hafiz. Did you have any minimum standards when it came to choosing to apply to universities?
That's a very good question, actually.
Okay, so for
Good
me,
job, Hafiz.
that's actually a really good question. Minimum standards. When you mean by that, what do you essentially mean by that? Like, what are things like I could only apply to these schools? Like, do you think I just didn't apply to somewhere at the lower level? Is that what the question's asking?
Hafiz, can you please?
Yeah, Hafiz, please elaborate.
Yes.
I think
please.
that might be what it is. What's asking? I can probably go ahead and answer it in that way.
Yeah.
Then.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
And he
Yeah.
likes the room.
It is cool.
Yeah, and he asked whether it's your door. Yeah, whether it's
my door.
it's
It's a
your
door.
if it's your
Well,
But I
can you
also
show
have
us the
Wi-Fi.
view?
yeah, it's his door.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
But
that's great.
in terms of that question, I'm guessing you're asking did I only apply to Ivy League level universities? No,
Yes,
I didn't even think I was going to get into any of them. So I applied. The biggest thing, the mentality you want to have in college admissions, dream big. Never bad to dream big, but also have a backup plan and have another backup plan and have another backup plan to your backup plan. Because you have no idea how this stuff is going to play out. It's completely random at some cases. Like Stanford admissions, they admitted that. They said, we have hundreds of people that are completely qualified to be here. And we just have to pick the ones that really stand out. And it's at that point, it's as if it's completely random. So that's the type of thing that happens in some cases. But what you have to understand is that you don't have to go to an Ivy League top 10 university in order to make the most of it. Like I've seen people from Texas A&M, Emory, all these smaller scale universities that people think oh, they're not Harvard or MIT though. What are you doing? Things like that. But it's honestly what you make of it. The way I thought of it is saying, okay, if I don't get an MIT, cool. If I don't get into Columbia or Yale or UCLA, UC Berkeley, I'll go to UC Irvine. I love that school. I'll go to Embry-Riddle. I'll go to WPI. And it's saying yeah, I feel like I'm academically a little higher than that level. But if I went to that school, what would I be able to do? I'd be able to start my own research lab, mimicking one that I found at MIT that I like. I'd be able to start my own organization inspiring kids to do aerospace engineering. I'd be able to do another research project, bring in a coalition of all the professors to be in part of the department to create a cohesive aerospace club. And I'd make a way to stand out at that university. So when I'm compared to everyone there, that's when I stand out. And that's how you end up standing out in grad school admissions and essentially in a career. Because you'd be making more opportunities than all the ones that existed at MIT. So you want to think of it like that instead of saying, oh, I'm going to a less good university. But no, I am making this the best university possible by me being on that campus. And recruiters for jobs are going to see that. Graduate school admissions are going to see that. All of that is what's the most important thing. If you're going to get the biggest takeaway of this whole idea is making the most of your situation. That's all you need to do.
Sorry, Jacob, we're laughing a lot because the chat is asking weird questions.
Yes, you can check
if
too.
he has had dinner yet. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Now, you won't understand because it's all in Bangla.
Yeah.
I don't know the chat. 2 people in the chat are asking weird questions. That's why we.
About did we have a dinner or what?
Dude, smart. You should try applying to MIT. Yeah. One of them asked, "Dude, smart. You should try applying to MIT, like one of those." Students. Yeah, and the other said, "Yeah." Hafiz asked your major. Hafiz,
what's your major? Yes.
You can answer that again. What's your major, Jake?
Yeah. So my major is I'll probably go a little more deep inside. I'm pursuing a double major in aerospace engineering as well as physics with a minor in science writing and communication. That minor in science writing is essentially bringing these huge, complicated, convoluted science topics and research papers and writing them in a way where it's tangible by a common audience. It's these things you see by like Science Magazine, Bill Nye videos, like all these things where it just tries to teach science to the public, those fun YouTube videos. That's essentially what I'd be doing in the written format. It's commonly known as like science journalism. So I thought that would be a great skill to kind of round off that really technical knowledge around aerospace and physics. And within aerospace, I'm going to be focusing on robotic systems and advanced propulsion. And that kind of goes into the research I'm doing this semester, which is a nuclear thermal particle bed reactor engine. That's essentially going to bring us to Mars in less than a year once it's finally developed. And then in terms of the physics, I'm going to be concentrating in high particle or high speed particle physics, essentially with a concentration in axion research. And that's what I'm going to be doing in January with the new Applicants lab. So those are my concentrations. If you guys have any questions about that. And again, I'm coming from a school where I didn't do any of that at home. I just got a book online. I looked up things online and I just blindly emailed professors right after I got into MIT. I said, yo, I'm interested in this lab. What do I have to do it? What do I have to need to learn in order to be a contributor to your lab? They gave me a list of things to learn. They didn't expect me to do it, but I did it. They offered me paid research positions to do the work I'm doing now. And they actually said, we want you on our team and we're willing to ship you all the way from your house to MIT in January. So that's the only thing you guys need to do. And I tell everyone, they don't expect you to have skills, that making the most of your situation is always going to be the good thing for you. And that's all you need to do. So yeah, I guess I kind of was like non-intended advice.
No, that was nice to hear.
Yes, man.
So
Awesome.
Ahmed Hafiz
We're really
has
sorry
another
we're losing
question,
our cool.
actually.
We're laughing a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's totally okay.
Sauban Zaka
Okay,
commenting.
like,
I don't know what.
Yeah. So Ahmed Hafiz,
mine.
thank you for the support. He's
Yeah,
actually
I'm going
asking quite a lot of
interview.
questions.
Yeah. Sergeant, I'm
So-
sorry to interfere. One of our friends asked if you fought in the liberation war for Bangladesh.
What happened?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, so Ahmed Hafiz has asked, so what do you think, is aerospace engineering fun for you? I mean, despite all the struggles of academics, is it the thrill you were expecting?
You were expecting.
Yeah, so essentially it's going to be my first year, so I haven't really started on the track yet, but it's definitely been my dream ever since like junior year, because I'm the type of person that likes all the fields of science and engineering, and think of aerospace engineering as you're learning all of those concepts applied to a thing that flies. You're doing mechanical, you're doing electrical, you're doing software, you're doing material science, you're doing chemistry, you're doing all of these different science fields as applied to an aircraft. So essentially what they usually call aerospace engineers as like systems engineers, because you're the people that know enough about each subsystem to be able to say, I need you guys to come into a team and make this thing. And that's why it's like you're essentially the all-around engineer. And it's important why I want to cap it off with that physics degree, so I can have the technical yet engineering mindset walking into every single one of these problems at NASA.
Fantastic. That's a
Hope Hafiz got
good
his
answer.
answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
we're
someone
gonna
had
have
actually.
to
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
on.
No, I thought
Okay.
of restarting the stream because
So
we don't have much time on the
someone-
Zoom meeting.
I think Asmain it was. He asked about the cost of, reading in this university. So can you please tell us something about that?
So in terms of cost, I'm getting paid $8,000 to go here. So the biggest thing I always say, what you guys have to do is these schools like this, Harvard, Columbia, MIT, Stanford, Yale, all of these, they're what's considered need-based institutions. So if you need the money to go here, they're going to give you the money to go here. Your economic situation is never a barrier towards applying to these schools, because once you get in because of your ability. And just say if you have to pay for some sense, that financial aid office is going to be doing whatever they can to help you do that. They will help you get low interest loans in order to make sure you get to pay for that education that they think you so rightly deserve by accepting you into that institution. That's always something I say to everyone. Most people say, oh, I have to apply to state school because I can't afford it. They're paying more than I am. And that's the most important thing about the private schools. If you get in to a place like this, they're going to want to make sure they do everything they can to make sure you can go here. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
Fantastic. Well, this actually destroys a lot of stereotypes about studying alone. Like whenever I talk about going abroad, shall I pursue undergrad, most people around me, my parents, are like, you can't afford it. It's really expensive. They don't give scholarships. One of the most ridiculous, and I wouldn't really call it ridiculous because it's just an lack of information. I wouldn't really blame it, and that's what I believed before I met all of you guys. Is that college in the U.S. or any country, specifically in the U.S. I'm gonna talk about MIT or Stanford or maybe Harvard. These colleges are really expensive. They are, but once you get in, if you ask for aid, they'll do anything to make sure you study in their institution, which was further clarified by this guy, who's a living example. He has a huge financial aid package. So if don't if any of you, it's really fine to not be financially sound. It's fine. God has created us in different ways, but if you have the will and the intention, the hard work, the ability to work hard, get into such universities, you'll definitely get in. Speaking of which, we should probably restart the stream because we have a lot more questions coming up, and the Zoom meeting time's ending. Adyan, should we restart the stream? Okay, we'll restart the stream, guys.
What?
Whoever's watching, a lot of you have joined. We're really happy. What matters is, we don't want millions of people joining the stream. What we want is, even if it's 10 of you or 12 of you or 7 of you, we just want all of you to get something valuable from this. So we'll be back in just 1 minute. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back, inshallah. So Jacob, see you in 1 minute. Ending this meeting, we'll be back with the stream. I didn't stream it. Okay. Are we live, guys? I can't hear you.
Okay, I think we're back. We're back.
Are we back?
My internet is unstable. Every one of you has frozen. Acha. Wait.
My internet is also
internet
quite
is
We are
slow.
live.
really bad condition.
Yeah, we're live and we're talking about.
Oh, yes, we are live.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go then, Jacob.
All right.
Acha, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, streamer started.
Okay.
Okay, we are asking the questions. No problem. Jacob, so how can I stand out from the rest of the applicants? Because thousands of people each year are trying to get into this university.
So the biggest thing that I use, I kind of hated in the beginning, is where college, like all those websites where it's like, oh, we can get you into college. All these books that said you will immediately get into an Ivy League. They did have a point about one thing they suggest. It's called having your spike. And a spike is something that is essentially the thing that sets you apart. But it's the one thing where if an application reader would see that, they would be like, oh, okay. So in your application, this is why it's really important, especially for me. I had a lot of people I didn't know that had no idea who I was read over what I was planning to put in my application. That's going to be mimicking exactly what an application reader would at a university. So it's super important to get that input from someone who has no context about you, because everything in that application is all they're going to get from you. Your favorite teacher has too much context. Someone you know has too much context. Your friend, your parents have too much context. You got to give it to a complete stranger and say, please evaluate me as you are. You don't know me, so please do this. And that's kind of a good way to get a baseline of where you're at. So kind of tell you, it's like, then you ask like, oh, is there anything that stands out on my application? Then they'll be like, oh, I really like how you mentioned this. This is cool. And then after that, they'll give you a sense of saying, after reading it for the first time, these are the things that stand out to me. And at that point, you just have to make sure you do these things where it's not only standing out to one person, but it'd be a thing that would stand you out to the people that if you want to start small. As bad as it sounds, you're going to be
I think Simon is having quite a lot of
It's okay. We can go on.
Internet.
Okay. So the biggest thing
Go on.
I'm going to say something that's like pretty deliverable, since I hate people that give advice that doesn't show you how to like physically do it. So the step process is going to have to happen is that, unfortunately, as much I don't want to say it, when you're evaluated, what it means by evaluated within your context, you're getting evaluated, essentially compared by some of the people at your school, some of the people in your region, and some of the people in your socioeconomic background. But that does not mean, I've seen a school where 8 people from the same one went to MIT, got accepted to MIT. It's not limiting, but you have to be on the same level. A good way to gauge that is saying, what am I doing that isn't something the other people are doing at my school? That's a good way to look at it. Or what am I doing that's beyond expected from my school and what they have available? This podcast, perfect example of that. And you guys know that already. I have a feeling you do. So things like that to kind of set you up. And then after that, you want to say, okay, I'm not just going to be competing against the people in my school anymore. How do I get bigger? So start in the local area. See what that looks like. What impacts can you have? You have like direct contributions to like community service, direct skills, because essentially if you're applying to a place as specific as MIT, they want to see that you have technical knowledge, but you also have this passion to learn it as well. That could be through community service. MIT is a huge community service and impact school. That's something you definitely want to put on your application or stand out, as well as having that technical background, those like clubs that relate to your interests, business things, all of that stuff. But yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow.
So,
That is Radhika Dasinke. We've got a lot of
Data
people
K.
that shit.
Okay, Ahmed Hafiz once again has a question. He's saying that does a university like MIT base their choice of applicants on sheer academics and extracurricular activities, or do they look for risky gambles where they seek hidden potential?
Very good question.
MIT
That's a great question.
does not make mistakes. That is all I'm going to say. I've heard hundreds of people say that, especially when it comes to my context. Like I'm thinking like, yo, I'm probably just one of those situations where they saw potential. I'm probably just one of those exceptions where it's like, oh, they think that can do things. But when you're looking at that, they don't. If you have potential, it's not something that underqualifies you from everyone else. You have something that most of those kids don't even have, wouldn't even think of having, or probably never will have, especially if you have that drive to want to do it. So the biggest thing that you guys have to do, they're going to be evaluating your academics. You can't be relying on that. If you want to go to MIT, you have to have your stuff together, or else it's not just to say you're the best. It's to say, are you actually going to survive here? Because yeah, the academics are really tough. And if you can't handle high school academics, then it's going to be like for your safety, we can't let you in. You're going to be failing your class and that's not good. So as a given, you have to exceed academically, and I'm pretty sure you guys all know that. But beyond that, it's not essentially based off of extracurriculars. That's a way to kind of share your story. Like I have a friend where no extracurriculars, middle of nowhere, but they had a laptop. And with that laptop, they did insane things. They don't have extracurriculars, they don't have AP classes, they don't have anything inside their school, nothing. Their school had like 22 people. Yet they got into MIT based on what they were doing with their situation. And whether it's that, your personal reasons, like just say I have another thing kind of relates to my situation where sometimes I wasn't able to do a whole bunch of things because I had family responsibility. They see that. If you're managing a good academic standing as well as managing things back home, that stands you out as well. So they're just kind of looking for academically, you need to have the grades that show that you can succeed here. It doesn't have to be all straight A's. It doesn't have to be perfect test scores. It just has to be where you're challenging yourself in what classes you're taking and succeeding in them. That's it. But also the drive to keep on going when you'd given all reason not to. That's something they definitely look for as well. So yeah, that hidden potential thing, it's not something I like using because it's not hidden. They know it's there. And they've seen it in action based on what you're doing. You can't just rely on someone to say, oh, I have hidden potential. I haven't done anything in high school, but like, I have it. My potential will be unleashed in MIT. And that's what it felt for me. Like, I didn't think a lot of things I did in high school were good, but they saw it. And then now, compared to the resources I have back home, I have everything I need here. And the thing that really set me apart is how I'm actually standing out here at MIT is the fact that I'm taking advantage of all those resources I never had before. And who would have thought a kid like me would stand out against a crowd of kids that are the best across the nation? And that's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I hope to do. And that's why I'm saying, like, it doesn't matter where you come from. It's just how you look at it and what your mentality is once you get here. Because, yeah, if you're in, you're in. And MIT admissions taught you that. So don't sell yourself short, ever.
I want to put this out, though, for all the viewers watching here. Jacob has a really inspirational story, okay? He took care of his family, he took care of his little siblings. He did his robotics club and robotics competition and stuff, and his academics, and got into MIT, Yale, and Columbia. Ivy League schools are hella hard to get into. I mean, if you guys watch college decision reactions, you'll see a lot of people crying over them because they didn't get into Ivy Leagues. It's really, really hard. And Jacob didn't just get into 2 Ivy Leagues. He got into the best goddamn school in this whole universe. He got into MIT. I mean, that's something, right? And we're striving hard to bring these type of people in the podcast to inspire you guys. So definitely leave a like, subscribe, and check out Jacob's Instagram. It's Jacob Rodriguez, I think. Your Instagram. Yeah. Check out Jacob Rodriguez.
If any of you guys are watching, like, just feel free on Instagram. I have a lot of people that reach out, especially through this, where just if you guys have any questions, shoot at me. If you guys want me to review an essay, I'll give you like personalized advice since everyone has like a specific situation. It might be a little delay on the response time since I am pretty busy here, but as always, I want to be an open resource. I have a foundation I just founded where it's specifically to help kids like this so that I can give you guys all the advice you guys need to move forward and hopefully give you the funds to make it happen. So yeah.
I mean, you look how
Jacob is a really good guy.
That's great. That's great, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and I met Jacob through reaching out to him. Now he's one of the best people I know, honestly. Okay.
He sent me his essay, which was really good. Thank you for that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, essay was. I mean, not joking. Actually, honestly, I'm really not joking. But his essay was like, it makes your heart stop in a sense because you're such a cheerful guy and you're smiling all the time, but you have such a great battle that you have to fight every day, and yet you are successful. God bless you, man. That's awesome. Do you have any more questions? Nikita.
Stupid questions.
Okay, I think Ahmed
Oh,
Hafiz has another
Ridan
one.
asked me to
Wow.
ask one question.
Okay, Adil, go on.
No.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
say. I'll
then-
speak. Let me speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me talk.
Okay.
Acha.
Kevin De
Yeah,
Bruyne.
Hafiz says, did you understand that? Did
Yeah.
you have any problems adjusting to the whole social atmosphere there? Did you ever feel intimidated by the amount of genius around you? He has online classes, so it's
No. It's completely fair. Because like one biggest thing that I loved about this school, in some cases, like if you go to like an Ivy like Harvard, I know it's definitely prevalent there. There's a huge amount of competition between students. But the biggest reason why I wanted to go to MIT, literally, I've talked to the most insanely qualified people to be here. Those are the people where you read about in these like admissions forums that are totally blowing out their expectations out of proportion. And they're still saying, there's always someone smarter than me. I feel stupid. I feel like I don't belong here. So I guess if you're going to school like MIT, like you're saying, everyone here expects everyone to be a complete genius solving the world every single day. But it's that whole, although it's kind of bad, everyone here has imposter syndrome, so it literally doesn't have anyone thinking they're better than anyone else. So it's kind of a great atmosphere to have where it's not student against student, it's student against institution. That's hard. And each of these students want to put MIT to the ground in terms of conquering that. So it's a great way to do it. And especially the social atmosphere, it's a whole bunch of nerds, a whole bunch of people that care about academics. You're going to have some people that don't finish your group projects and don't care. The people that think that, I'm at MIT, I need a cruise now. One of the most inspirational people, and probably one of my good friends, literally my roommate. Those are the people that say, I want to do this. I'm going to make advantage of this MIT opportunity, and we're going to go kill this together. And that's the type of people that you want to surround yourself with, whether it's high school or in college. That's what I'm doing now and kind of building that friends group. And it's inspirational, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what background you have. So it's great.
Fantastic. Whoa.
That was great.
Learning so much from this, okay? I mean, Jacob, my man, you're literally fighting camera for Deacon. Okay, so Jacob, we're sorry we're keeping you up for long. We won't be much longer, okay? Okay, but
Okay, fine. Can I send you a question?
Yeah. Why?
Can you please read it out?
I'm not in YouTube. Okay. I'm not in YouTube live stream now because I was smiling, laughing the whole time. And for the stream, all those guys watching the stream, we have a surprise for you. Even other than fact, they don't know what I have planned now. Okay. So, Adil, you're sending me a question, okay? And what can I say? I'm probably the only business student desperately wanting to go to MIT because no business student wants to go to MIT.
No.
It's not a business school.
Sloan Business School is one of the best in the entire world. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's all I have to say.
Oh. One of our friends who's been desperately asking weird questions like, do you drive a car? Or maybe...
I love those.
He said, do you want me to say that?
Yes, please.
Do it.
He even called me to ask the question.
He asked you whether you have a girlfriend. And
I do have a girlfriend.
And does your girlfriend affect your sex? His girlfriend goes to Yale, by the way.
No, she goes to Cornell.
Oh,
wow.
I'm sorry, Cornell.
Yeah.
So they're two genius bunch of people.
Yeah.
So
And then what was the second part of the question?
Does your girlfriend affect your studies?
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ridan, you got your question. You got your answer.
That's your answer, Ben.
Yeah. I guess I can kind of like give insight on like what that looks like, especially when you're going to this. It's when I opened that relationship, I wanted to make sure I was with someone that kind of knew where my goals are at. So the biggest problem when it comes to like two people going to these great schools is essentially like, I guess she kind of built this thing of like a competition between the two. So when you guys are looking at that, make sure you adjust it early because that's what we did and we're good now. So.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
Most of your schools were in the East Coast. Okay, so as I said, I had a surprise plan for all of you guys. We just had one student. I thought about bringing in one more student from a different school. Okay, so let him connect to his audio first. First time talking to him. Salam, welcome, bro. You're live on YouTube now.
I didn't know that. I thought we were just calling me.
Yeah, this is This is the college admission podcast we're talking about. We held it today.
Gotcha.
That is Jacob. Okay, he goes to MIT.
Hey.
And
Wow.
okay,
Sorry.
so
I'm not sure if everyone speaks like Arabic, I guess.
we three, Adil, Fardin, and I speak a little bit of Arabic because of Islam. Jacob is a fantastic person. He goes to MIT. Jacob, this is Rami. He's a pre-med student going to Stanford and one of the most inspirational people I've ever met, just like you. Okay, so Rami, you're actually in the live stream on YouTube right now. It's actually that you had no idea that this was going to happen. Even none of them here knew that you're going to happen. This is just our way to surprise the people at the stream that you're here. So, Rami, you go to Stanford, brother. Stanford is, you're a genius. We know that. So I don't want to disturb you much because you just work. Yeah, it's really morning for you. What's one piece of advice you would give to all the students applying to top tier colleges?
Gotcha. Great question. I think it's important to be yourself, have the right motives, do things for the right reasons. A lot of people fall into the social stigmas and the social norms and pressures, maybe cultural pressures, or they fall into these wrong ideologies, doing things for the wrong reasons or the wrong motives. So I really don't like that. I think people should do things, they should be self-motivated, and also they want to take care of their families, right? So I don't know, with this idea of top tier college admissions, you see a whole future ahead of you. You see strong education, which leads to strong career, strong earning. With the strong earning, you help your family. That's the goal in life. One of the biggest goals you could ever do for yourself and your family in life. These are all great things. You should pursue these. I'm not sure how the audience is. I'm sure it's a diverse of an audience, but in Islam, personally, that's my faith I adhere to. I'm a follower of Islam. I'm Muslim, so I use Islam for everything in my life. So I'm just gonna speak a bit on how I apply Islam to college admissions, perhaps. I think Islam preaches the right reasons. It's objective morality by God's word, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the Muslim audience out there. So yeah, for college admissions specifically, you gotta do things for the right reasons. And this includes self-motivation, strong career, strong education, strong earning, because this all leads to taking care of your family, right? Whether it's your elders, your parents or your grandparents or aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever it may be, or the youngers, down your lineage, your own kids, your own grandkids, so on. So you want to develop a strong foundation for yourself and your family. That's the right reasons, right? But when you see the college admissions process today, society paints a very ugly picture of it, and it's a very corrupt thing that we see here. These motives that we see being pursued, it's the wrong pursuits, it's the wrong reasons. So what we see is social pressures, social stigmas, norms, expectations to reach, I guess, and it's all for the wrong reasons. What this implies is impressing people, fame, arrogance, perhaps. You'll get a big head, whether you know it or not. You're gonna be arrogant and think of yourself above others. That's all wrong. And yeah, the fame is huge, and arrogance, perhaps, whether you know it or not, it's just really not good for you. It's one of the biggest you could say I don't know, sins in Islam, arrogance, but we can keep it secular here as well. Arrogance is just I think everyone across the board knows arrogance leads to just corruption. There's nothing good about arrogance. It's all evil. What else about it? The fame, I said, and impressing people. There's this quote. It's not my words. It's just this quote I've heard before. it's like, how's it go? It's like we work jobs we don't enjoy to earn money we don't need or money we don't want to impress people we don't like. So it's all, these are the wrong reasons, and people get led and fed up in this stuff. They get caught up in the stuff, I mean, and they get led to the wrong reasons. It's just the way life goes. We see things that are just, they should be clearly seen as wrong, and then things are clearly right. I like to make things like black and white. Like it's hard when there's gray area, but in my opinion, whenever there's gray area to matter, like dispute or debate, or it's just unclear to you, if it's ever gray area or blurry to one's vision, just zoom in a bit, zoom into those pixels. You'll find the clarity. You'll find the black and white areas, the black and white pixels to that gray area. So I like to make things like black and white. I like to make it clear and easy for myself. We want to make it easy for our families, inshallah. Inshallah means God willing in Arabic. But if you're not religious, then just, it doesn't have to be for God. It can be for you or your family, whatever the motives, as long as it's for the right reasons. So I guess that'll be my preface, introduction.
That's more impact that Eden Hazard has made all his season in Real Madrid. I'm saying that because Fardin's a Real Madrid fan and I hate Real Madrid. I'm a Barca fan. And I'm pretty sure you're a Real Madrid fan as well because you supported Cristiano Ronaldo. But so sorry for that.
You said? Is that what you said?
I said that. I don't know. I said you made more impact in this 2 minutes than Eden Hazard did in his whole time at Real Madrid.
I'm dead. Yeah, that's so funny. I'm dead. No, it's nothing.
Jacob, what do you think of Rami's advice?
Spot on. The whole thing, how people the whole social stigma against college admissions, where people are just doing things for college apps and say, I want to go to MIT and Harvard for the flex. You have no idea how many people I've heard that. So he's telling you what you guys need to know.
Yeah,
glad to hear.
that was great. Thank you.
Guys, yeah, Rami would have definitely had also great things to tell, but he unfortunately wake up. I didn't even tell him this was going to happen.
What a surprise. Goodness. I thought we were going to call continue.
Yeah.
I was worried. But you got me on here. You pushed me out of bed. I'm glad to
Sorry for disturbing you in the morning.
Oh, it's good. It was good intention.
Comment, guys. Thank you, brothers. Do leave the comments in the comment box below if you want Jacob and Rami to be a guest host in either the episode. Rami will be a guest host, inshallah, in the next episode, in an episode in the future, and we'll also have Jacob as a guest as well, because Jacob is one of the few peoples. What the heck is wrong with my English? One of the few people abroad who I have really connected well, because he's an amazing person. And the first time I talked to him over the phone, he was like, okay, dude, yeah, I'm going to help you with everything. I'm going to give you every possible information you need to get into this university. And Rami as well, he was like, I'm sorry, bro, I'm a little busy now. But he referred me to a few more people, also a Bangladeshi person. So both of you are fantastic human beings, and both of your presence as really...
You will be here at MIT for me to say hi to you. That's the goal here.
I will definitely make it to the MIT. Martin as well. These two people. I mean, this podcast has come a long way. Alhamdulillah. Oh no, we just had 169, but it's still a lot for us subscribers. Abdul, every day he's basically in this particular curriculum we study in, it's known as the A levels. It's really, really hard. And Abdul is an all science student, so he has physics, chemistry, biology, and then maths and stuff. He has to work really, really hard. And Fardin also is a mixed student, so he has to students of mixed subjects. He has a bit of economics and then science as well. So he has to dedicate his energy to two things. I, on the other, has to dedicate my energy on the simple things like business subjects. I'm the least hardworking out of all these guys. And even after all of these, Fardin, after getting tired, from coachings and stuff, he gives stories after stories. Even when, the peeps at our school say, "Come on, Fardin, don't do that. You're embarrassing us." You're annoying us. He still does it. Same for Adil. He does a lot of promotional activities as well. Our editors out there, Adnan and Satman, which you guys don't see, of course, they do dedicate their time. Satman is he is in tuition the whole day. yet he's still here, not doing anything today actually, but he's still here, which makes us feel well. And all of you guys have been watching the stream. How many people are there on the stream? I have stopped watching the stream after they were making weird comments. How many people are there?
Now there are
Only four.
five people.
5 people. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many people are there. What matters is, if you can take something good away, even if it's one person, we were happy for it, man. Well, because the intention is to do something, because I came to know about top tier colleges in grade 10, and Adil being the best student in our class, didn't know of it.
No.
And if he, be the best student, couldn't get into a good college, not because he isn't capable, but because he doesn't have the necessary information, it's just that. And we, the Dinner Convo, feels, as people who, as the youth of this generation, inshallah, we feel that it's our responsibility to get this word out to you, brothers and sisters who've been watching us for all these days. Even if you would just watch this video and don't subscribe to us, I don't care. What matters is if you take something away from this, take something important from this, and at the same time, even if we three don't get into a good school, and any of you guys do, trust me, we're going to be very, very, very happy. Trust me, we can have no jealousy because this is for you guys. Our rewards in the hereafter. Once again, do you guys have any last questions for these two wonderful gentlemen here? Rami, one of the guys asked this. They asked Jacob this. I'm gonna ask you this. They asked you to talk in Bangla. Can you do that?
What?
They told you to talk in Bangla.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that. So that's. Do you speak that language or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are
the
from
language.
Bangladesh, so we speak Bangla. Yeah, no, these people were just messing around.
Oh, God.
They asked.
I can like try. I can like repeat after you.
Okay. So first Rami, then we go to Jacob. Okay, repeat after us.
Alright.
Apnara.
Ambala.
Nara.
Nar.
Abdallah.
Part of it.
It's up. It's up. Nara.
Abdallah.
Abdallah.
N-A-R-A. That's right.
Nara.
Abdallah.
Okay, we'll spread. Okay, no problem. Don't let me. Okay, we'll spell it for you. It's UPNARA. UPNARA.
Abdallah.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Both of you got it. Okay, so we'll go. One word will be spoken by Rami, then the next word will be by Jacob, then the next by Rami, and then we'll Jacob. Then we can make it a complete sentence. Starting with you, Rami, brother. Say Apnara, okay?
Abnara.
Okay. Jacob, say A.
Jacob.
A.
Rami, say channel tite.
Janakase.
Oh wait. Channel tite.
Channel Tite.
Oh. Jacob, say subscribe korun.
Subscribe. Go.
Yeah, that was great.
It's all coming.
You two did great.
Yeah, we can't even speak good Bangla, trust me. There's a reason why
Yes.
we do the podcast in English. We're not even great in English as well. If you watch the podcast, you'll see I struggle significantly.
Oh, you're
with
good.
English.
You're all good. And
No, this is great.
Okay. To all the people who
You
watched the
guys.
stream so far, you guys are amazing people. You guys are beautiful legends. And you guys are very fortunate. Those who watched the stream, you probably heard advices from two of the most people with the most potential I know. Okay, there are definitely more people with more potential, but two of the most people with potential, most people potential. See, I'm messing up English again. In other words, in the future, inshallah, they'll be very, very successful, inshallah. Okay, so and you guys, and we'll be getting Jacob and Rami as a guest host one day because we had one of our other friends got into youth and start as a guest host, and why not you guys? Their chance. And to all those who watch the stream, thank you. Good night. God bless you all.
All right.